Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge brick to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life.
So, Christine, I was going to ask you what Romeo and Rosaline is about, but for our public who are actually reading and looking on the website, there's a description that you came up with when publicizing the show. It says, Andrew Batten's lively spoof of Romeo and Juliet takes us on a risque romp through Verona and the bumpy lives of those characters who make it to the end of Shakespeare's tragedy. Alive, told with wit, panache, horseplay, swordplay, confusion, and romance with a dash of starlight. Can you take us, can you add any more to that?
Well, basically it's a story that follows the love lives of several characters who make it to the end of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet alive.
Nice.
All while exploring the question is what is basically a woman of the Renaissance, of intelligence, beauty, wit, and means to do, when she's just not interested in Shakespeare's most famous lover.
That's it right there?
Why must I follow that dull and narrow path that makes me object of men's joy and wrath? Why must I grow like mushroom in the shade beneath the mighty oak that is man-made? This Romeo with loving shadows me. Must I appreciate his manly tree? Why should the only lot in life for maid be to be wed? Be to be made a slave?
And Christine, I wonder if you could walk our viewers through the relationship with the playwright Andrew Batten for Romeo and Rosaline, and how you were connected to Andrew Batten, and just what brought this production to life for you.
Well, I first met Andrew Batten back when I was an actress in Toronto, and we had both been cast in the Scottish play.
Oh.
aka Macbeth, for those of you who aren't superstitious. I was cast as Lady M, and Andrew was Thane of Cawdor. He was telling me about this play that he was working on, about the character of Rosalind from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, and who was she? And she never appears on stage, but she seems to have started all this commotion starting. And, well, or rather, she was Romeo's first love, who didn't want to get married. And so he decided to start that as a starting point for the play, and it went on from there. And we submitted it to Guelph Little Theatre, and it got picked up. And I sent him back an email saying, Romeo and Rosalind is a go. He had been rather ill at the time.
Yes.
Which he'd been very private about. So unfortunately, during the past couple of years, he has passed on and will not be able to see his production produce both halves at the same time.
Christina, that's one of the reasons I wanted you to share that with our viewers, because it is quite poignant, actually. This has been a relationship that you developed pre-COVID with Andrew Batten, and this play was going to mount just before the pandemic hit, actually. In the meantime, COVID has set us back a few years, and this production has really been waiting 3 years to mount. So it is very, very poignant, and in particular, Andrew's widow is going to be attending this production as well, too. So you have developed a relationship with Andrew's widow.
Yes. If we would not have been able to do this show without her. She's been very gracious and very excited to see Andrew's show put on the play. It's the only play of his that I think she hasn't seen yet. So she's been very supportive and very excited about the actors and
It's fun.
having the show go on.
The design, the whole process of preparing a production starts months before we get into rehearsal. And Christina and I met quite a few times. She's very excited about this play, and the first time I read it, I thought, okay, this one's a good one to do. And Guelph Little Theatre needed to have the assurance of an experienced director working with Christina to make sure that we were going to be able to pull this off. Christina's been a delight to work with. She is so knowledgeable about just about everything there is to know about acting that all I've needed to do is keep an eye out for the bigger picture to make sure that we're fulfilling all the functions that a director has to do besides just concentrating on the actors. And when people come to see this play, you will see it's amazing, the intensity and the detail work that she's be able to bring forward from these performers.
Mm-hmm. And for our viewers and listeners who will come out to the play, what are some of the key points of interest, actually, that you'd like to shine light on? It's a feminist play, I've heard.
From the design point of view? We've got a few Easter eggs.
I heard that. Yeah.
We've not been publicizing everything that this set is capable of doing. The last time that Romeo and Juliet was done here, they didn't use a balcony. I assure you that there is a balcony. In fact, there is a phenomenal balcony that's going to show up in this play. Mm-hmm. There's a lovely scene with lighting towards the end as well. So yes, I've taken advantage of the breadth of Andrew Batten's production to exploit some of the knowledge and abilities that I have.
Mm-hmm. As far as in the humor in the role and the physicality of each role that the person takes on, could you describe that a little bit for our audience?
Well, basically they have to bring a sense of humor and a willingness to try things. And to listen to their partner and accept what their partner is giving them and play with it. It's a very physical play. One of the delights is the language, of course. It's very funny and a very sharp wit. Yeah. So it's wonderful to see that level of sophistication in young people. Yeah. There's a bit of horseplay, so there's some physical comedy, there's some sword play. So some of the actors have had to learn how to handle a sword and do sword work safely. Mm-hmm. And a couple of pratfall, various other
couple
things.
Of surprises.
Couple of surprises.
Yeah.
But the wonderful thing about this play is that the playwright loves every character.
Okay, yeah.
And there is something for an actor to get out of each character. Mm-hmm. One of the wonderful things about Andrew Batten's sense of humor was it was never mean-spirited or ugly. Mm-hmm. Even if a character is a fool, he's still our fool.
Yeah, I love that. Very endearing kind of fool. Mm-hmm. Christina Jackson, director of Romeo and Rosaline, co-director of Romeo and Rosaline, thank you for speaking with us today. And for our viewers, please come out to Guelph Little Theatre, check us out online, follow this play. It's been 3 years in the making. Our actors and crew deserve for you to come on out and check it out and support local theatre.